here, so let me just share our IQ principles. So, our guiding principles, which is our values, includes BCNET, the concept of serving and providing for, a concept related to stewardship. Chantal, I know you are serving Machet. You served, so you served Machet. So that's called BCNET, the concept of serving others. And that's something we do not only for our children, but we do for our friends, when they come over, or we serve an elderly person, help them out. Let's say they don't walk as good and need a cane, and if we have a feast, we carry the food for them to their table. So that's stewardship. That's the second concept. The Inuit way of decision making by comparing views or taking counsel. It is consensus decision making. When people are going to do a large hunt, for example, they're going to hunt, what's the name? Those really big whales. I want to say baleen, but I think it's bowhead whale. Bowhead whales are huge, and it takes a lot of planning, a lot of discussion, and usually that's done by community in Nunavut. 1 or 2 communities are picked through a draw to hunt the bowhead whale, because we want to ensure they're not going to become extinct. So that's why it's only once a year that 2 communities across the 25 communities are picked. And so they talk amongst themselves. The more skilled, experienced hunters, they will say the places where the hunting grounds would be. So, and they need to discuss what materials they need to bring and so forth. So, ayukatigin, consensus decision making. You can also see that happen in committees. You got the president, you got the vice president who motion the meeting, stuff like that. Bilimmaksangnek, the passing on of knowledge and skills through observation, doing, and practice. Traditionally, a young lady would watch her mother sew the parkas for coming winters, and they learn through observation. Mm-hmm. And then they do the act of sewing themselves and practice, and you gain skills through that. The concept of collaborative working relationships, or working together for a common purpose. We are working together so that you can learn some Inuktitut. The concept of environmental stewardship. You can see that in picking up your garbage and throwing it out. You can see that in recycling. When Inuit hunt, they take every part of the caribou and not leave anything on the land. That's environmental stewardship. The concept of being resourceful to solve problems. Of course, you can also be resourceful. Like, for example, if you're going to make a parka, you use the top part of the material closest to the edge. you don't just go cutting in the middle and wasting the material. So making sure you're not wasting unnecessarily. Or being resourceful, such as using food banks, using services that provide your needs. So that's being resourceful. You know, for today's cost of living, everything costs so much, and even working class citizens are utilizing food banks now. So that's one way to solve the problem. Inuit Qaujimajatuqangit, respecting others, relationships, and caring for people. In terms of relationships, you may have some family members or friends who are in relationships you may not agree with based on how they're treated, but you still respect their decision to be with that person, because you may not see the good things that the person does for that in that relationship. And caring for people, you know, if you see somebody down, maybe just check up on them, ask them how they're doing, let them know if there's any way you can help them, that you're there for them. Fostering good spirit by being open, welcoming, and inclusive. So we're inclusive of each one of you because you're associating with Inuit one way or another, despite the fact that you may not be Inuit, and I appreciate that you're here and we welcome you. So those are our Inuit Qaujimajatuqangit principles. What Inuit have always known to be true.